Welcome to my revision of my American history notes, where I'm going over my American history notes and thinking about what I want to dig into deeper, maybe change, emphasize more. I'm going to pick it up where I left off last time. Um, we're talking about the uptake to the American Revolution. So, going from what I was talking about yesterday, what King George III and Parliament was doing, this became a rallying point for people like Samuel Adams and Paul Revere, silversmith who engraved punch bowls and other memorabilia to keep the fire burning with slogans about liberty and freedom. Up until this time, Benjamin Franklin, who had successfully lobbied the Crown against the Stamp Act, considered himself a proud citizen of the British Empire. The chief contributor to the Sons of Liberty for printing banners and free rum at rallies was John Hancock, a young merchant of Boston. And I say free rum at rallies, it's understood from several sources that Americans at that time drank at least 3 times as much liquor a day as we do today. The new commissioners of the customs intended to put him out of business. He was allegedly framed for smuggling Madeira wine aboard his sloop, the Liberty, and was rescued by the Boston mob from the authorities, who had to retreat to a fort within Boston Harbor and call out the army. The Crown passed the Quartering or Mutiny Act, which required local authorities to be responsible for housing troops and providing them with their daily food and rum ration. When the New York Assembly rebelled at the expense of the rum ration, even though it paid the other expenses, the Crown's representative had them disband. When the newly elected Assembly in 1769 went ahead and voted everything that the Crown demanded, rum included, there was rioting and arrest. The rioters used clubs and staves against the British bayonets, and one citizen was killed. Now, in the back country from New Hampshire to South Carolina and the areas most remote, settlers revolted regularly against British authority. The refusal of the Crown to permit westward expansion was one of the reasons. The War of Regulation in North Carolina that ended with several Baptist rebels called regulators being hung by the authorities and one drawn and quartered in front of his wife. The Royal Proclamation of 1774 reinforced the idea that the Crown wanted the colonies filled from Maine to Florida and not to push westward. Land speculators, or those who wished to make money on the purchase to the rights to and the sale of land for settlement west, were angry at this insistence of the Crown to stop westward expansion. It had nothing to do with concern about the Indians and everything to do with the Crown's ability to control the colonies. Now, the non-importation movement of 1768 to 1770 was a voluntary movement initiated by merchants to boycott taxed and untaxed goods from the British West Indies and England to put pressure on the British. This agreement was not followed across the board, and while annoying to British commerce, it was not the disaster that was expected. Next, I want to talk about King George III's new Prime Minister, Lord North, and what he did in the 1770s. And we'll continue with this uptake or leading up to the American Revolution. If you watch this video, please click like. Thank you.